Hola, this is Anna again. Um, this is video number 2, and today I had a friend of mine tell me that she wanted me to talk about children with birth defects. So I decided that that's what I'm going to do. Now, uh, one of the things I know about myself is that I better explain things when I tell a story. Okay? So I'm going to tell you what my beliefs are why children are born with birth defects. It's not because God favors them or God favors others or because the parents deserved it or anything of that nature. It is, of course, there are circumstances that play into the birth defects for the most part, or maybe not. I know there's reasons why children are born with birth defects, and then there's not. Okay, sometimes they just think they're going to have a healthy baby and they don't. Okay, um, so with that being said, um, I want to shout out to Jax Strong. And if you have not subscribed or liked Jax Strong, go to Facebook and go to your search bar and look up Jaxson. Jackson. I call him little Jax because he's cute. So it's Jackson, Jaxson, Strong. And just like their page, okay? He's a cute kid. And he was supposed to die in the womb, and he's 3 years old and he's still alive. And I think he's amazing. Okay, so let me tell you my story. Okay, so let's suppose we have a villain. I'm really sorry. I've been sick. I have a cold. Okay, it went away. Okay, I was gonna sneeze. So let's say we have a villain. Let's say the villain lived back in the day of the kings and queens in the court. I don't know. Let's say um, cares 14th century. I don't care. Um, let's give him a name. Let's call him George, King George. Okay, so let's say King George um, was in the court. Okay, and he was someone in hierarchy or whatever, and he was just a villain. He was a hater. He was somebody who was after power, just power, power, power. And he tortured people, got them beheaded, imprisoned them, starved them, beat them, uh, threw them out in the cold naked. I mean, just whatever. Just was a terrible, terrible person. And he lived his life doing this, okay? Until the day came and he died. Or he killed himself, or he got killed himself, hopefully. But that's my story. So, this person, I forgot the name I gave him that quick. This person um, dies and he goes into the spirit world. And when he goes into the spirit world, if he had any ounce of decency, then he would regret what he had done. And he gets to look at what he did and, man, I can't believe I did this. I can't believe I did this. Now remember, to understand this, you have to understand reincarnation. So now he regrets it, and counseling spirits come and they say, what did you do with the money we gave you? What did you do with the power we gave you? Oh, I can't believe, look what I've done. Da 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 da. It's in his nature. It was very hard for him to resist. It was very hard for him not to be the way he was because it's in his nature. God didn't make him that way. We all have what we call free agency. We get to be how we want to be, whatever interests us the most. We're all unique, okay? So, but if he had any decency in him, he would say, okay, now when I come back and reincarnate, I want to suffer that. I want to know what it is to, sit in my own feces and suffer and be hungry and not be able to ask anybody for food or communicate or be left out in the cold or be tortured or be beaten. He needs to know what that feels like so that he can feed his intuition. Remember when we talked about intuition, what intuition is? Our intuition is what our actual spirit knows, but things are blocked because we live in this organic body. Okay, so the counseling spirits, whatever, blah blah blah, time passes, and they're like, hey, guess what? Your number's pulled. You gotta go back in there. Perfect. Perfect. I'll go back in there. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Okay, well, we have this couple, you see, and they were Spartans. And that couple was given a beautiful baby, okay? But that baby was born with one leg shorter than the other. And you know what they did? They threw that baby over the cliff, because that's what Spartans did, because they were looking for the perfect race. So they're already in there, they're already in Earth, and they've already met again, and they're already married, and she's about to get impregnated, and we need you to go in. Okay, fine, I'll do that. Parents are looking for a second chance. That's what they're doing. They were looking for a second chance. They want to learn to love, no matter what you look like, no matter what it is. They want to learn to love your child and take people for what they are. So they're down there. Of course, they don't know that. They have to use their intuitions, okay? And hope that the physical world doesn't get the best of them. I'm really sorry, I'm sick. Anyway, so this spirit goes into this world. Baby's born. He goes in the body. And guess what? He's born what we know to be as brain damaged or / vegetable. I know vegetable is not a correct term. I don't know what is. But I don't like to say that they're brain damaged. And we're talking about the children that are born not being able to speak, with their hands contracted in, and they sit in the chairs. They can't walk. They can't do anything. So those kids are not technically brain damaged. In the spirit book, it says that those brains work absolutely perfect. There's nothing wrong with the brain. They can understand everything, learn languages. They can everything. They can remember things. They can. The problem with the brain is it does not communicate with the body. So the body is what's screwed up, not the brain. Okay? So why? Why are these children born this way? Because they want it to be. Because they're trying to learn something. We all come here to learn something, to purify our souls, to become perfect. So now you got these Spartan parents that are reincarnated, and now you have this guy from the court who's reincarnated. And guess what? Spartan parents are just so into their social surroundings and just into their own thing, and nobody has time for the baby, and the baby's just too much work. Well, let's get a nanny. We'll pay for a nanny to come get the baby. So that all of a sudden, we have the nanny at the house. We can go. Baby spends less and less time with mom and dad. All of a sudden, they can't really afford a nanny anymore, and they're fighting all the time because of the pressures of the kid and this, that. All of a sudden, these parents separate, and now the nanny can't get paid. So what's going to happen? The baby. It has insurance, full-blown Medicaid. Let's take him to a home because we can't do it. So now the baby's in a home. Now this baby has to deal with nurses and doctors and CNAs and all these people that don't have any emotional attachment to it and just see him as a paycheck. So now he's suffering, He gets no TLC. He gets, to sit in his diaper extra long. He gets to, cry of hunger a little bit longer, blah, 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 blah. And let's say it's a really shitty place, and shut the F up, boom, and start beating him or whatever. Or maybe this kid wasn't born to Spartan parents. Maybe he was born in China, and he was just a messed up kid, so they threw him in an orphanage. Doesn't matter. He suffers. He gets to suffer. No, but depending on how bad he was, he gets to suffer. And he chooses that. There's children that don't get to suffer, and maybe they didn't have to learn that severe of of a lesson, you know. Maybe they were brought into parents who God knew they were going to nurture and love him, you know, and they're doing this to purify their soul. Just okay, you know, we got a child that's messed up, but God knew they were going to take care of it and love it anyways, you know, like the Jackson parents. You guys really need to pull that up, Jackson Strong. Anyway, um, those parents are amazing, and Jackson, you know, don't know what Jackson did in his past life or whatnot, but guess what? He's doing what he's supposed to be doing to purify his soul. Those parents are doing what they're supposed to be doing to purify their souls. So when I see a kid that's deformed, it doesn't matter what it is, a child that's deformed in any shape, way, or form, you know what? Don't feel sorry for them. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. You know, when I see them, I used to feel sorry for them. Sometimes I used to cry and be like, oh my God, imagine one of my kids. You know what? My kids are not perfect. I have a daughter who's ADHD, who I is kind of failing her thing here because she's not doing stuff she's supposed to be doing. But I love her, and I can just keep counseling her and as much as I can. And then I have a son who's ADD, and he really tries hard. He has such a good soul. And I'll tell you what, I think he has ADD. My son, since he was a child, he's the only one that's, since he was like 7, 8 years old, he needed an iron. He needed to iron his clothes. He always wanted to smell good. He always has to have a fresh haircut. And he always was very ambitious, extremely ambitious, like too ambitious for his little britches. Okay? This kid, all he thinks about is money and becoming famous and doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that. He just wants to soar like a star, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I believe that he was born with attention deficit disorder to help him with his, you know, in his past life, I think he might have been someone up there, maybe someone famous. And all his focus was on that ambition, and it didn't purify his soul at all. So now that he has attention deficit, he has a lot of problems. He also got meningitis and gave him a little more problems. And although that ambition is still in him, he's very humble. He's my humblest child. He's very thoughtful, and all I can say is I love him. I love him, and I believe that attention, if he didn't have that attention deficit disorder, and he could really accomplish all those things he wants to accomplish now at a young age, I would have lost him to society. I would have lost him to marijuana, drugs, Hollywood, New York, all that crap, you know, because he's a good-looking, smart kid. But, you know, I'm glad he's attention deficit. So, that's what it is. I do believe that if you read the Spirit book, you would put these little pieces together. And now, when you see a child who's in a wheelchair and is all messed up and just smiles, you know, every time I see one, I'm just like, you know, good for you, man. Just good for you. You know, because he knows what's going on in that. That's like that little girl who's autistic. I cannot remember her name. She's on YouTube. Autistic girl communicates through typing. All they had to do, she had severe autism. And severe autism. She would have fits. She would play with her own feces. She was crazy. In anybody else's head, she would have been crazy, like a crazy kid. Like, they couldn't do nothing with her. She had to be watched 24 hours a day. She was too freaking much. And then she started getting like this therapy. And they started sitting her in front of a computer. And one day she sat there and she started typing, and she started saying, the first thing she typed was help me. And then she learned how to type more and more and more, and she started telling people, I mean, she couldn't talk. You know what I'm saying? She couldn't talk, and she just run around screaming. She didn't know how to speak. And she started typing. She knew how to read, she knew how to write, because they always kept her in homeschool. So they were trying to teach her anyways, even though she couldn't communicate, she couldn't write, she couldn't do anything. They just kept teaching her, because those are good parents, okay? So she started freaking typing. She was seriously typing, and she said, first it was help, and she says, I'm a normal girl. I wish I could just go to a normal school. You know, my body's not working. And then somebody came in to interview her, and he started talking about his son, and she typed, "Is he cute?" And these people thought she was dumb. Like, everybody thought she was gone. Like, her brain was gone. Her brain is not gone. They are not gone. Please, if you have a child like that, understand that they know everything that's going on. It's just their body that doesn't work. And that's part of their purification. So please, whatever you do, don't talk about them while they're there, because they understand. They learn. They pick up. They're like sponges. They're like us. They're going to learn. And they know what you're talking about. And yeah, that's my story for today. I can't make it that long because I'm sitting here digging in my nose and I keep wanting to sneeze and so forth. But that's it. That's what I wanted to say. Well, let me finish my story about the. So, the guy ends up living a whole life of horribleness in this body that doesn't work, and then he dies. Okay, okay. So then he dies, and he's back in the spirit world, and I was like, wow, 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 wow! I can't believe I had to go through that. That was terrible. Those people were so mean to me. Oh my gosh, what they did to me. They were beating me, and I couldn't even defend myself. Oh yeah, he got to feel all that stuff. All the crap he was putting people through. Maybe not with the same severity, but he did. And now his spirit knows what that was like. So they're like, okay, here we go. Some time has passed. Hey, your number's being called again. Time for you to go back into the real world. And guess what? Now he's reincarnated. Normal body. Normal life. Okay? And now he's given a little bit of power. Maybe he became the mayor, or maybe he became something where he's given a little power. Maybe he's a police chief. Let's see what he's going to do with that. You know what I'm saying? So when then he has to confront a stupid situation with an individual who's just, you just want to pop, 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 pop. You know what I'm saying? Pop, pop, pop. What the fuck was that? Anyway, he's gonna have that intuition. He's gonna feel that. He's gonna be like, maybe I should be kinder to people. I would hate it if somebody treated me like that. But that's it's your intuition. It's like with poor people. Like people, okay, let's say somebody lives in the court. Back in those days, the poor people around you were peasants and dirty, and there was no deodorant. There was no deodorant. I'll let you in on something. I lived in Spain for 3 months. A lot of people in Spain don't wear deodorant. And I heard the same thing about France. They're great people, but somebody should really mail them some secret, okay? But anyways, so you got a man from the court, and he's got, this is back in the day again, King Henry days. And the peasants are like, please, kind sir, we're hungry, please, give us some bread or some corn. Don't touch me, peasant, don't touch me, okay? And he lived in the court, lived his life, ate like a pig, got super fat, and then died of diabetes. Okay, so then he died. Well, sir, what did you do with the money we gave you? And what did you do with the power we gave you? Yeah, that's what we thought. No. Please let me do it again. Let me fix this. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right. So time goes by. Guess what? Time for you to reincarnate. Is your numbers back up? Okay, let's do this. So what are you going to do? I want to work on treating people equally. I want to work on having sympathy and empathy for people. Okay? That's what he wants to work on. So he reincarnates. Born to a nice family. They have money. Everything's fine. Everybody works. Blah, 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 blah. All of a sudden, he's turning into a teenager. He's acting kind of funny. And then he goes to work. And then he can't go to work. And then all of a sudden, he's talking to himself. And boom, paranoid schizophrenia. Just like that. Now he's a homeless person talking to himself. And shooing off demons. Okay? Why? Chemical imbalance. Why? Not the parents' fault. Parents didn't do anything wrong. It's because that was supposed to happen. Okay? So now he's a homeless person. Okay? So now he's playing with chance. Are people going to treat him right? Are people going to give him food? Or you're going to have a bunch of teenage assholes go over there and beat the crap out of him? Well, only God knows what's going to happen. And then let's say a little bit of everything happened. He freezes. He's starving. He gets beat up. Sometimes he gets taken in. Blah, 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 blah. But he's going to live a life like this for a very long time because it's what he has to do. This is school, people. This is school. This is what we're learning. We are learning how to cope with life and how to be better. Okay? So now he's got to go through all this crap. Okay? Then one day, a big winter comes. Boom. All of a sudden, he's a stiff on the sidewalk. Gone. He dies. Comes back. Oh my God, I can't believe I was hungry and people spit on me and they were ignoring me and I tried everything and nobody wanted to help me. I mean, there was some good people out there and blah, 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 blah. But damn, you know, this and that. And then I froze my ass off and now here I am again. Quite the experience, wasn't it, Joe? Time passes by. Joe, numbers up again. Time to go back in. You know, time for school. So Joe goes back in. He goes back in. Normal family. No paranoid schizophrenia. Gets a job. Gets promoted. All of a sudden, man's got money. He's in New York, on Wall Street. Starts walking down the street. Feels a tug in his pants. Turns around. Stinky homeless dude. Stinky. Do you think he's going to turn around and say, "Get off me, nasty ass. Don't touch me"? No. He's not. You want to know something really sad? My dad used to do that. I used to get mad. I would say, "Give him money." He'd be like, "No, don't touch me." And then I made my dad give me the dollar and I gave it to him. And the guy wanted to shake his hand and he went like this. He was, "Sorry, you're dirty." And I shook the guy's hand. Thought it was really messed up. Anyway, so back to Joe. You think Joe's going to deny him? No. Something inside Joe is going to be like, "Damn, help this dude." You know what I'm saying? "I'm sorry you're like this, man. You know, I wish I could help you more. Here you go. That's what I got." And that's it. And he did it. And that's the same thing that dude right there is learning. But we need people like that to test us. And people need to be like that so they can learn. And then in the future life, they can be tested by someone else. And it's just a cycle that goes on and on and on and on. Okay? So, we covered 2 topics today actually because I got a little bit into it. Children that are born with defects. Okay, it's not by chance, it's not your fault, it's not nothing. It's because they chose to be that way because there are things that they want to learn and they chose to be that way because they want to be that way. They chose to come that way because there's things that they've done or weaknesses that they have that they have to strengthen. Remember, this is school. It's like you want to be a doctor. You want to be a doctor, you want to get your doctorates, you got to go through hella classes to get up there and become a doctor. And once you become I mean, what happens when you sit down and you fail a class because you're out there playing around and getting high? You know what I'm saying? Does the school send you to hell, kick you out for good? No, you take the class again. It's the same thing. God loves us all. Our Creator loves us all. You know, we just have to do it again. And He has all eternity to wait for us. That's why we're all here, and that's why shit is all messed up, you know? But evolution is going to make us better. You'll see. Evolution is going to make us better. And if you have somebody in your family who's sick, terminally sick, ask them about this. Show them this video. I dare you. Show them this video and say, when you go, can you let me know if the spirit book is truth? Buy the spirit book by Allan Kardec. It's right here.
I swear she get paid
for this. Okay, By the Spirit book by Allan Kardec. And my mom told me that it was real after she passed. And in my next video, I'll tell you how she did it. It's a pretty amazing story of how she did that. But I gotta go because I'm feeling really sick. I love you all. I love every single last one of you, all my friends, because I know it's just my friends watching this. And if you're not a friend, you're a total stranger and you're watching this, I love you too. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. I'm gonna start doing my artwork as well. I'm gonna do a whole collection on endangered species, and it's gonna be called Endangered Love. Okay, and you can see it on my Facebook. If you go to El Lagoon, here, I'll write it down for you. It is Reno's El Lagoon Art. Okay, pull up in Facebook Reno's El Lagoon Art, and my endangered endangered love, it's called. But you'll see. Tomorrow I'll go ahead and start a piece for you with you online. Okay. I love you guys. Have a good day, and I will see you again soon. Don't forget to subscribe. Even if you don't watch me, just subscribe. You could do me that solid, right? Right. Okay. Love you. Bye.